Hey, Timmy's is Psychic Bob. Oh my God, I am so excited to be with you guys tonight. We are going to have such an awesome, mystical, fun, educational, fascinating time. You say, yeah, tell us about Psychic Bob. Well, if you look over here, I have a dear teacher and friend. I'm so honored that we have this guest tonight. This is my beloved teacher and guide and mentor. His name is Reiki Reverend. Reiki Reverend, would you like to say hello?
Certainly. Hi, everyone. I have been just enjoying so much all your love and support for Psychic Bob. It has been a really good couple of months here. I've just been, pinging back and forth in our exchanges, and the depth of this man's character, his story, his intuitive guidance. It's so just different from everyone else I've encountered along my journey. And it's been a true blessing to have met this man and to know that he has so many supporters. So I'm really blessed to be here. Thank you, Bob.
Well, thank you. Now, to give you guys some reference to how I know Reiki Reverend, many of you know that I have told you over the last few months, I have been doing a study and working towards advanced degrees in Reiki practice. That's right. Even though I've been a psychic for a lot of years, I never really did Reiki. And I had I guess you would call it a revelation one day that I need to open to this energy. And I set out on a quest. Now, let me tell you guys, there are a lot of people teaching Reiki, but a lot of them are questionable. Let's just put it that way. I ended up, through the divine order, connecting online with Reiki Reverend. And I got to tell you, it's been amazing. I have gone through my first degree now. I am a first degree practitioner, and it has been life-altering. And I'm so excited because I'm now working on the second degree. And Reiki Reverend, I told you, it's a little intense, the second degree.
Yeah, it's completely different from the first. In Reiki 1, we learn a lot about the history and the varying principles that govern Reiki, how it works. All the budding questions everyone wants to ask about Reiki, and then a little bit more than you bargain for, all in one course. And when somebody walks into Reiki 1, they're like, all right, cool. This is like college course? All right, I've done a few of those. You go into Reiki and you do a little bit of research and realize, no, it's actually like an elementary course. Very simple, very governing. But as it builds, it grows in its not only intensity, but its density. And by the time you get to Reiki 2, you're thinking you understand everything there is to know about Reiki. You're doing the hand positions, going down the chakras. You start to feel the Reiki intensify, and it gets stronger and stronger and stronger. And then out of nowhere, all of a sudden you learn about distance, and it just blows your mind, just completely blows your mind. There's not really too many other ways to put it.
That is true. It blows your mind. And, before we get into that, because there's a depth here, guys. So we're talking 50 million miles deep of stuff. I just want to give a few quick shout outs here because I'm seeing a lot of people. They're very excited about you being here. I want to give a shout out to Angie Clevenger is with us. Thank you, Angie Clevenger. She said, this sounds awesome. Stardust is here. Hey, everybody. Hey, good to see you. Stranger Things 1 is here. Yay.
Oh, you channeled Lord Zeus. That's perfect.
Yes, I channeled him yesterday. It was an amazing experience. By the way, speaking of that, if you didn't see yesterday's video, go see it because in it I used my new sacred chalice. This is my new silver chalice, and I used it for scrying, and it was a mystical and amazing experience. So definitely see that. It's in the queue right before this video.
I'm only laughing, Bob, real quick, just because the chalice is very sacred to me. Actually, when I drink out of water, it's meditation, return to center. And Lord Zeus is very sacred to me as well. And he's one of the strongest bonds I have with deities. So I found both of those highly interesting. But I just really quick had to highlight that. So very strong synchronicities here.
Oh, my God. That's really wild because when I started, if you see yesterday's video, when I started out to channel, I had no idea what was going to come through. And I got a very intense connection with him. And he spoke to me. It was amazing. You'll have to see it. But yes, this is my sacred chalice. Now, in my religious practice as a Wiccan, I run an order called the Order of the Purple Cord. And part of my work is called Guardian of the Sacred Chalice. So I hold this chalice as a representation of the goddess in the order, and I work with that. And I offer libations and spiritual work on behalf of the order. So that's how that started. So
that's awesome, man.
I love that you connected to Zeus. Now that is really fascinating to me because I've never channeled him before, but boy.
Very, very powerful energies. If you're not sitting down, you'll want to sit down.
Yeah, luckily I was sitting down. Thank goodness. I know what you're saying.
Normally, you just get very accepting of his words in one way, shape, or form. You almost never want to dispute them. You need to have the logic of Athena if you want to dispute Lord Zeus.
You are absolutely right. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. We got so many people gathering here. Ramona's here. Hi, Ramona. Kathy Private. Cadence Snowers. Oh, Cadence says, she says, hey, Bob, really love you so much. Well, blessings you. I love you too, darling. Thanks for being here. Moonface here. Carlos the Messenger's here. Oh my gosh. Kimmy63's here. Yay, greetings. Yes, Crystal Al just put a comment. She said, Lady Aphrodite. Yes. Yeah, I love her. She's wonderful. Daniel Moore's here. Daniel Moore just says, oh, I want to learn Reiki. Well, we're going to talk a little bit about that tonight. And I just want to say, before we get into everything, if you are interested in Reiki, Reiki is a calling. I think it's sacred calling. And I think Reiki Reverend would agree. Reiki Reverend, how would people connect with you if they wanted to start with that process?
Okay. Well, for one, I have a website, ReikiReverend.com. I'm also on several different platforms. If you have an interest in my practice and do Instagram, I do that. Almost all my blogs get posted on Tumblr. I also have a Twitter that pretty much all of my blogs, my services, they get updated. They get posted on Twitter as well. Facebook is facebook.com. Emerald.healer is my tag. But just ReikiReverend.com. I have a link. Actually, you guys are the first ones to hear this. I have a hidden hover link.
Oh, tell
right
us.
There. So if you hover or tap on my picture at the homepage, you'll get my contact information. Secondly, you can also hit contact me at any point in time in the ReikiReverend.com and contact me that way, and it goes directly to my email. I normally reply within about 6 to 12 hours.
Oh, I love that. Yes, guys, let me tell you, you want to do yourself a treat and get in touch with Reiki Reverend because, oh my gosh, I don't even know where to start with this. It's just my experience. And let me tell you, I really believe spirit calls you to Reiki because I literally have been feeling this pull. And I went out seeking Reiki teachers. And let me tell you, where I live, we've got Reiki teachers, but they either want $20 million for classes or they don't even teach it properly. Because the origins of Reiki, and maybe I think Reiki Reverend could tell us a little bit about the origins. Where did Reiki start? And
Reiki originates in Japan. Now it's the disputed ideal that it's a Christian monk and scholar named Mikao Usui started Reiki. I say that because when you do research, you find out that he did not study in Chicago, as some sources would suggest. He never left Japan. He was Buddhist, as his lineage was Buddhist. And if you dig even deeper, there's so many other details involving that in its own. But its core comes on Mount Kurama. And when Master Usui climbed Mount Kurama in search of some healing notion, some healing technique, it goes a little bit deeper than just book and details. He wanted to feel it within him, that urge, that soul drive to allow universal life force to not only flow through the body, but also to invigorate, enhance, and help bless in so many different ways. And that prayer over 21 days was heard. And he was literally knocked unconscious by a very powerful blind bolt of light. And that's when he learned Reiki. The next few things that happened are very interesting, and I'll just give you a little bit of a brief. As Master Usui descended Mount Kurama, he stubbed his toe on our nearby rock. Instantly, as we all do, as we are all inherent beings capable of Reiki, he placed his hands on his wound. He soothed himself. He did his best to remain emotionally stable and calm, and he forgave that situation from happening. He consoled it, and he gave it love. And that is why his toe began to heal, his foot healed. Now, as he descended beyond and went down to the base, he went into get something to eat. After 21 days, after a fast, you're done with it. Everything is said and done. You've received whatever you're wanting from that fast. Yes, you eat. Now, you may not eat a lot of stuff right away, but despite having fasted for 21 days, Master Usui was able to eat a full meal, not a problem. And, the waitress found that interesting, but meanwhile, the waitress was also suffering from a minor toothache. Master Usui was then able to lay hands on them almost instinctively on the waitress, and was able to, and of course, waitress back and then those days meant something different, but was able to lay hands, and he was able to heal the toothache. Then the third thing was the abbot back at the monastery. And he was able to heal the abbot from arthritis. And these became known as the three major revelations of Reiki. The toad, the waitress, and the abbot, not necessarily the meal. The meal is more of a result.
I love that. I mean, I'm just going to jump in and say something. This is what's so fascinating, because one of the things that I love about studying with Reiki Reverend is he teaches me he's been teaching me literally the whole reality of Reiki, because when I've met other Reiki practitioners, they would just say, oh, Reiki's healing. But I had no idea the true spiritual depth of it, where it starts. And if you study with Reiki Reverend, he'll help you uncover and understand how that profound reality came to be and is still with us today, and that's what's amazing. And when I met Reiki Reverend, I'll tell you, his vibration, as a psychic, I pick up vibrations. His light quotient blew me away. He's a pure channel, and I could see the light coming through him, and I said, this guy really knows what he's doing. And so I want to tell you guys, you really want to, if you're serious about Reiki and you've been wanting to check it out, you should definitely look into Reiki Reverend, because he will give you quality teaching. I've met online people, and they just basically just tell you to go away. They're like, here, give me money, and I don't want to see you ever again. No. When people take on a study with Reiki Reverend, they get a full in-depth time one-on-one with him. And maybe you could tell people a little bit about how you structure your Reiki training.
Yeah, most certainly. But before I do that, Christian Druitt had said, I've been interested in learning Reiki for years, just could never afford it. I do understand your struggle, Christian, and there are a lot of people out there who struggle with that as well. That is why I did go through the lengths to make sure that, in the very least, I could help people understand Reiki's nature. And in that, I started a podcast series. Spreaker Radio, I have a podcast, A Healer's Musings. In there, I detail the different types of healing and the healing modalities. I even offer lessons from the healing modality I was blessed with by Grand Source, called Grand Source Faith Healing. In that, I give a lot of information. But one step above that, last year, I actually went and recorded Reiki 1. Just about in its entirety, in a kind of a podcast series, about 2 to 3 hours or a little bit more than that, detailing the history of Reiki and a lot more than what I'm able to even go through on here about healing in general. I feel like that would empower you But if you had any questions about how to shape all that into a perspective, I'd be more than happy to help you. I always offer free consultations. I'm not necessarily out to, I'm not one of those pay $50 for a consultation guys. If you contact me and you're earnest of heart and you have a question, I'll do my best to answer it. And if you need 15 minutes to kind of help you hash it out, then I'm perfectly fine with that.
Yes. Now, guys, I first of all, Reiki, I got to confirm what you said. You reach out to the public in so many ways. And let me tell you, this guy is real. He gives and gives and gives. But some of you, now I'm going to just say this, some of you out there, you got a little dough in your pocket, and we should always support our spiritual teachers. So you do offer training that you can pay for and buy.
Yes, and you get a lot more with the training than you would in just that 15-minute consultation or listening to the podcast. Paying for a session with me or series of sessions, or what I call now Study with Reiki Reverend, you're getting one-on-one time, and that I give you the material to study. I'm more than happy to cover the material with you during those sessions, or go 5 layers deeper, 10 layers higher, however you would like, in the best way I know how, to help you shape that knowledge into empowerment for you in your journey.
Absolutely. And let me tell you, the course, are you still offering the 3-level course where you can sign up and work through all 3 degrees?
Yes, I do offer the contemporary courses on my Etsy page. So I also have an Etsy. It's Reiki Reverend. And from there, you're able to get Reiki 1, 2, and 3, all for one lump price, as well as a few other healing modalities such as Angelic Reiki or Shambhala Reiki.
Yeah, now I signed up for his 3-tier class of Reiki 1, 2, and 3. And I'm telling you, when you do that program, you get so much for it. Like, I've got my study manuals, plus I get sessions with him where he helps me understand stuff. We go through things.
There's also a number of other stuff as well. Thanks for helping me on that one. Aside from the sessions, you get unlimited support through email or text-based messenger, things like that. I also offer nice little things like a chat room I have just for my students. And what that is more or less a meshing point where people are not only able to get a little bit more time with me, but also able to bounce things off other people who are experiencing different things on varying life's terms. I also offer exclusive packages in case you want to take all of what you know and then shape it into a business or try to use it as a means for growth and development. I'm more than happy to support that, and I'll help, definitely help you work with that.
I see you're going to get the full deal. Now, let me tell you, where I live, I went to see a Reiki practitioner. Do you know they wanted to charge me $6,000 to get to, I think that was just for Reiki 1. PsychicBob is not unlimited in wealth, so that didn't work for me. And I'll tell you now, the other end, and I gotta be honest, the other end is I've met Reiki practitioners who want to sell me their lessons for $1. You don't want to do that either. You want somebody who will give you quality, and you're going to pay a little bit, but Reiki Reverend will give you more than what you pay for. And that's why I tell you, not only you get the quality, you get the price that's going to make it work for you. And so a lot of you are in the chat are asking me, PsychicBob, should I do Reiki? Can I learn this? Is it possible for me? And Reiki Reverend, what would you say if somebody says, do you think I can do this? What would you say to that?
Do you think you can perform Reiki? So the easiest thing I can say regarding that is an example right from the manual, actually. When you scrape your knee as a child, you run up to your mom or your dad or, just caring provider, and you ask for console and support, to be consoled and be supported in your recovery. And that inherently is Reiki. When they do go in to console or support you, or even when you yourself, give yourself that big hug at the end of a long, hard day, or even emotional healing where you sit in the bathroom and just allow yourself to purge, or in a quiet space, allow yourself to purge. When you allow yourself to ground and be, when you take in the breath of life that is key, those are all inherently Reiki. What Reiki instruction does is it helps you take that knowledge that's natural within all of us and shape it into something much more dedicated.
Mhm.
And I use the term dedicated because I want to like really send this home. Anyone can practice Reiki, and more than just me and a few other people in the world are Reiki masters. There's a lot of us, and there's literally thousands of people who will say that I am a Reiki master, I'm able to teach you, but they aren't able to give you depth. And I've noticed that time and time again when people come to me, they say that my teacher either didn't want to hear what I had to say, just told me what was on their mind and set me off on my way, or just gave me a bunch of stuff to read and then just shot me a certificate in a few days. That to me doesn't encompass true instruction or give you a lot of depth. Now, if you want that for yourself and you're capable of working it out on your own, more power to you. But if you feel any at all that you could benefit from another set of eyes, ears, or even just thoughts regarding your practice or what you do energetically, that is where instruction comes in. And speaking of that, I teach multiple modalities, different variations of Reiki, but I also teach Blue Star Celestial Healing. I teach Angelic Reiki, to go back to the Reiki side. I also teach meditative practices like Karuna Ki, which actually predates Karuna Reiki. Just different modalities for different people's journeys. I don't feel that one person is the same. And if they feel inherently that, for instance, they're more tuned to shamanic Reiki, for instance, like Maheo O Reiki or Shambhala multidimensional healing, then those things would really be able to empower them in that regard instead of just with an energy healing basis. Reiki is both the end all and the foundation. It is where you can start your journey, end your journey if you so choose. But if you want to expand or grow in a different direction or take what you know and move with it until it all just resonates and sticks, that's where I'm most able to help, because I can help you take those varying paths and just kind of swirl them all together in a lovely little ball and just present it to you to, knowingly just present to others. And that's the beauty of this process I've seen with other people, just them taking what I've taught them or what they've taught themselves with my help and develop that into a practice.
I think that's amazing. So you see with Reiki Reverend, you can explore other healing modalities. Is that what you're saying? So
yes.
So they may come to you and they may feel called to maybe a different technique or different process, different school. So that's an option as well for them, isn't it? So yeah, so see, there's a lot that he has to offer. I got a question for you here.
Yeah.
Stojance wanted to know, he's one of my followers here. Stojance, may I ask if Reiki Reverend is a psychic? That's a great question.
So I've always connected with spirit from a very young age. I actually tripped into remembering that I knew how to go to the Akashic Records when I learned and was certified in the Akashic Records formally. And when it comes to tarot, I've been practicing since about 19 years old. That was 2009. So yeah, now over 10 years, I've been practicing with the tarot. I do oracle readings as well. I started off before all of that doing energy readings. I just love the fact that the tarot can offer a happy little filter and give people a message that's most clear instead of one that may come out from spirit. And I don't know if you've ever heard any of those in-depth readings that Bob can give, but he gives some really strong, powerful messages. And, some people love that, but other people, they, may just want something that's going to help guide them and, move them along the way. And I know you've done a lot of those readings like that yourself, Bob, along your career.
Oh, yes. Well, I'll tell you guys, to answer Stojan's question, I can personally say that when I've sat with Reiki Reverend, it's so interesting because when he did my attunement to Reiki 1, he got a whole download of stuff that about my life and my body and different things that I hadn't really talked about with him. And he was 100% spot on. And I was like, oh my God, you're blowing me away. Because, you know, I spend so much of my life giving readings to other people. But when I get a reading, it's like, what a it's really it was a real luxury for me. I'm saying, and only was it
It's like getting a mental massage.
yeah, it was. I was like, oh, this is amazing. And it helped me so much to understand because, you know, his gift of insight is truly a channeled gift. And as I said, he told me a lot of personal stuff, which we talked about, which I don't go into all that, but he's very accurate. He's very insightful. He has a gift of vision. He's a true channel. And I can confirm, yes, he's very psychic. So absolutely, yes. You
Thank
know,
you.
that's a good question. You know, so I'm telling you, you know, people sound like they're really excited about this here. And, you know, we're going to do probably a few readings a little bit later tonight. But I wanted to also ask you, you know, one of the things that I discovered in my studies with Reiki Reverend was the spiritual foundation of Reiki has some really powerful mystical principles. And I brought this is off of my Reiki altar. I have an altar that I keep for my Reiki work. And these are the 5 principles of Reiki. And I thought I would just read through them real quickly. Maybe Reiki Reverend would want to discuss maybe one or
Yeah,
two of them that stand
I'd be fine with going through all of them if you'd like.
All right, so I'm going to read this here, and I'll read through all 5, and then we'll go back and pick them apart a little bit, okay?
Okay.
This is a beautiful thing that we as Reiki practitioners meditate on. This is like kind of sacred text to us. And this is the Reiki press. It says, just for today, I will not worry. Just for today, I will not be angry. Just for today, I will be grateful. Just for today, I will do my work honestly. Just for today, I will be kind to every living thing. As a Reiki person, I meditate on this every day, and I'll tell you, it is life transformational. Reiki Reverend, do you have a favorite principle? I'm just curious. Is there one that you always like to think about or stands out for you?
You know, with me, it's between the last one, just for today, I'll be kind to every living being, and then the very first one, just for today, I will not worry. And what I find is that if you're not worried and you're nice to everybody, you generally don't have to worry about the rest because it comes right along. And worrying has been always a big part of my life. I've dealt with that constantly. Overactive brain, overactive imagination. I mean, I got Einstein on my shirt here.
Wow.
So I'm a big thinker, and sometimes those can go dark, and those can go to very interesting places in life and can lead you to very interesting places in life. And when you're faced with that and psychic intuition, you know, at your back to go wherever you call it to go, things tend to manifest a lot faster. And I realize that I have a lot more peace when I don't worry. And when I'm kind to every living being, I find that the things that I would be angry about them with, or, you know, I would have a moment of disdain with, I just quickly ground and let go. When we talk about anger, just for today, I will not anger. You could think most easily, like it says in the manual, you know, the result of a traffic jam or, you know, just road rage. You know, that guy just projects all of his negative energy at you. And, you know, if you're empathic of nature or soft of heart, or, you know, kind of heart, I should say, I'm kind of heart, so I understand. You take that personally for 2 seconds. And this kind of leads to a really nice segue. If you've ever heard of the four agreements, the very first agreement is do not take things personally. And, you know, going back to anger, when you decide not to take that emotion that they're projecting at you personally, you don't even let them come near your aura, no, let alone penetrate it, let alone convince you that it's in your best interest then to retaliate in anger towards them, whether it be in thought, feeling, or action. Then you never sway. And if you never sway, then you can never lose your balance. And if you don't lose your balance, then you are prepared for what comes next.
Yes. Wow. Isn't that amazing? Well, I have to echo your sentiment because this last principle, just for today, I will be kind to every living thing, is something that I have to literally work on this as I walk down the street because I'm a pedestrian. I don't drive. And I can tell you the number of times that people have almost hit me with their car and run stoplights. And like, I had a situation recently where a guy, and I tell you, it was so interesting because I was thinking about the Reiki principles. And I was crossing a street, and a guy was behind a car that was stopped for me. And he was in such a rage, he drove over the yellow line and around the car and then almost hit me. And he brushed the edge of my coat. And in the moment, I was angry too. And I said, dude. And he rolls down his window and he says, F you, I wish I had killed you. I said, I'm in the crosswalk.
Anyone's fault but his.
And I thought, wow. And I thought, you know what? This is a lesson. I thought, what am I learning? I'm learning to be mindful, not to get angry. And I have to deflect that with kindness. Yes. So I said, I bless you. And you know what he did? He flicked me off and started screaming and almost wrecked his car. And I thought, oh, he's really
that energy just got redirected right back on himself. And that's the other thing. When you choose not to accept anger, the other person has no choice but to reflect on their own anger. This causes more healing than for you to project your anger back.
Isn't it true? And it was Reiki principles that kept me in the moment that I could control that, because it would have been very easy for me to escalate that. And I thought, Reiki says, because I literally was thinking the Reiki principles in the middle of all of that. And I'll tell you, it amazed me because I don't think that would have been, without Reiki, I think that would have not been where I would have gone with that situation.
So do you think that you could have been, thankful for your many blessings then?
I am very thankful. I was very thankful. Thank you. Yes, I became very thankful later, but especially when I got home and I settled down. I thought, how fortunate, because Reiki came into my life, and it's not like teaching me healing, it's teaching me a way of life. And this is one of the things I want, maybe you can talk about also, is that, people want in our culture everything reduced to a soundbite. What is Reiki? Reiki's healing. Boom. Okay. But Reiki's not just capsulated in 1 3-second word.
Hashtag healing.
Exactly. Hashtag healing. And it really goes much deeper, doesn't it?
Yes. The principles of Reiki can be applied to many different facets of life. This is like one of the core things that is taught in Reiki. Actually, one of the originators of our way of doing Reiki, which was Dr. Let's see, there was Mikao Usui, and there's Chujiro Hayashi. Mr. Hayashi, or Master Hayashi, I should say, was one of the originators of a different type of healing with the Reiki. He is the one who discovered that Reiki does not only work on the energy body, but it works on the physical body, and it works on the physical body a lot better when we maintain a healthy diet, when we do exercise. So treating our bodies with physical Reiki, working it out in ourselves, in our organs, in our muscles, in our memories, and then working energetically with universal life force, breath, key of life, Reiki, then you're able to heal yourself on a far more holistic level.
Isn't that wonderful? I just love that you're saying that, because I think this is such a much deeper and profound reality than anybody really knows. I had many years ago a wonderful experience with a Reiki person who worked on a knee of mine that was injured. But I didn't quite grasp the reality of what was really happening, but it stuck with me because I got a direct healing. Like, I was literally on my way to the hospital. She was going to take me, and she said, well, before we go to the hospital emergency room, maybe I could do some work to help, calm you down, prepare your healing so you can, but within an hour, I told her I don't have to go to the hospital. I literally had a miraculous healing. And
one time my son, he ended up spraining his arm, and it was a pretty bad sprain, but we didn't know it at the time. You know, I'm calling it a sprain now because that's where it is. It's shrunken in my mind. But he was in a lot of pain, and he wanted to go to the hospital. And so, of course, you know, I did the thing I needed to do, and I made sure I took him. The hospital's right up the road. There was no point to call an ambulance at that time. So I took him up to the hospital, and I began to work on him while we were waiting. While we were waiting in the waiting room, while we were waiting in the main room, the back area where the nurse sees you, takes your vitals, etc. And then I treated him like just before they were going to bring out the X-ray machine. Because of course they ask you 15 miles of questions and they want to know specifically what happened, and they won't quiz you as much as they'll quiz the child, especially if they're able to speak. And my son, of course he was honest with himself and he was honest about the situation. Very compliant with the doctors, and I love that. But anyway, no broken bones, no splits or anything like that, no real work needed. By the time they got to him with the X-ray machine, he had gone from writhing in pain to laughing.
Ah, is that wonderful? That is beautiful.
Really, if you don't mind, Bob, Stranger has really been curious about how I connected with Lord Zeus. The easiest thing to say is that I, as a child, felt connected to him. That him and then Thor. Him and Thor were two major figures in my life. I actually once discovered a tree root that legitimately was shaped like a hammer, and it looked like Thor's hammer. I used to carry it around all the time, and I'd smack the ground with it. Whenever I did, the loudest crack came out. But my connection with Lord Zeus, to answer your question most directly, came through a lot of meditation and insight. And it took years of affirmations from that point on to really discover the depth of that connection. And from that point, fully accept, embrace, and love it for what it is. And when I chose to do that is also about the time I started telling people, well, Lord Zeus is my patron god.
Oh my gosh, that is so cool. Thank you for sharing that. I love to hear about people's connections to deity. To me, that's brilliant. If I throw another question your way.
Yeah, certainly.
Mr. Hale, who's one of our regulars here, he said, "Hey, Reiki Reverend, what are your thoughts on the difference between Reiki and quantum touch? Because I was interested in that as well." That's a good question.
Okay. I actually read Quantum Touch 2.0, and Quantum Touch Advanced Techniques very quickly, but that's another story. But I loved the books. I just digested them. I literally get one, finish it that day. I had to finish it that day. And Quantum Touch is a lot of breath work. It involves a lot of breath work, and it does have a lot of foundations in universal life force, which is relevant to Reiki. So one could almost say that quantum touch is directly related to Reiki in some way that we can't immediately determine or define. But breath work is common in a lot of different practices and can be used on any healing modality to enhance both the technique as well as the practitioner. In fact, if you ever looked in the techniques such as Tai Chi, meditation, martial arts practices such as Tai Chi, Qigong, and you'd find that breath work is a major part of their core development, their foundation. When you start learning Qigong for meditation or for healing, it's there. You are doing the breath work. I've sat in on a few classes. I've watched a few videos. I even used to own a few myself, and I used to go through the motions and practice. And I notice a strong difference. That's also one of the reasons why I chant the Reiki symbols instead of just use the symbols as they are traditionally. I feel in this way I'm able to send the vibration on all frequencies a lot more directly, instead of me thinking it into will and existence, it reverberating back as the energy that is. I'm doing that, but I'm also sending it from the energy that is. So it's both operating at the same time.
I gotta say, that is one of the most fascinating things. Reiki Reverend taught me about this. I'm working through learning and developing my knowledge of the Reiki symbols, which when you get into Reiki 2, you'll get into. It's really deep stuff. But that principle that you're talking about is amazing to me, because it's the principle of vibration.
Are you there, Bob? Did we cut out on vibration? That's interesting. Are you all able to see me? I cannot hear you, Bob. Hello, Bob.
Okay.
Bob.
All right, we're back.
Hey! Did I lose connection? Did you?
No, I think it's on my end. It said I had an unstable connection. I don't know why, but you know, I always say when we get two mystics together, you know, the power just blows out everything.
Oh, in the second you said frequency. Was it vibrational frequency?
Yes, I was talking about vibrational frequency.
Yeah, vibrational frequency.
I see, there it is in action. We just blew out our broadcast. Hopefully you guys are still with us down there. But you know, I've been experimenting with the concept that he was teaching about, you know, chanting the symbols, and that opened that for me. I could say that's a whole other level of dimensional reality that I had not experienced before. So this stuff, what I'm trying to say, guys, is that if you work with Reiki, explore these studies, you're going to. Oh no. Are you still here? Again? We're blowing out. You're going to get so much more than just what you get out of the book. You know, I know somebody said, well, I just went and got a book on Reiki. I do. I said, you don't get it. Reiki's not about a book. Reiki is well, historically, it was a master to disciple relationship, wasn't it?
Yeah, like when I take in my students, I like to develop a type of working bond or friendship with them. I don't just I don't like it to be so impersonal that I'm sending you a few messages or sending you a few emails or, you know, gathering a few details about what's going on in your life and then giving you some feedback. I like to really know you. And that's why I offer things like the chat room or for unlimited guidance, because I understand, you know, life on all levels happens on all levels. And if you need guidance, if you need help in different ways, I'm there for you. And in that, I'm able to get to know you, know your path, know your journey, and know exactly where you want to go in life, so that I'm able to help best, you know, guide you to do that. If I can't directly, you know, guide you, then I might know someone who can, or in the very least, I can give you some empowering tools to do that yourself.
And I'm telling you, you won't be disappointed. You're going to get so many blessings through studying with Reiki Reverend. And, you know, I got a lot of people here asking if we're going to do some readings tonight. So maybe we'll do that. Y'all just getting so excited. But, okay, Sin 1982 says, I definitely want to work with you, Reiki Reverend. So, Sin 1982, I would encourage you to reach out to Reiki Reverend. What is the best way for her to reach you? Do you have an email?
Miss Sylvia is actually right, Bob. I've been trying to be a little courteous, but I do have someone knocking outside of my window. If you don't mind just waiting for 2 moments.
Oh, not a problem. Not a problem.
Thank you.
But this is normal on our show. All right. So, Reiki Reverend's attending to people. You know, he's very popular and people follow him and wherever he goes. But I'm so glad you guys are enjoying. Sounds like you guys are really enjoying this visit with him tonight. He's a very special person. And I feel so honored to know him and to work with him. You know, for many years as a psychic, I do teaching. I teach people. I help people. But I tell you, you know, sometimes even the teachers need to be taught. And with Reiki Reverend, I found somebody who is at such an amazing and profound level that it's changed my world. And I'm thankful, truly thankful for him. And you won't be disappointed. Let me tell you, you will not be. And you know, if I give my reference to somebody, if I refer somebody to you, you know it's a good reference, because I don't refer many people. And you know. Cindy Fitzgerald upsize. Hold on, Cindy, I just missed your note. What'd you say? Were you joking when you said Bob had an NDE? No, I wasn't. No, I actually did have an NDE. Well, I have to do a whole show on that, though. That's another show. Yes, Angela Locke, I agree with you. He has beautiful energy. Reiki Reverend is really a pure soul, and his light is pure. His channeling is
All right,
pure.
I'm back.
Yeah. I hope it wasn't a vampire.
Oh, no. It's one of my roommates. He unfortunately had to, wait outside for a little while, and everyone's up front. It's perfectly fine. He's safe. It's okay. There's a little bit of miscommunication is all.
Well, I was telling people, I said, you're so popular. I said, your fans are probably just mobbing your house. So,
hey, man, we see you on TV.
I'm telling you. Oh, my gosh. Yenny Yen just wrote, Reiki Rev seems like a really cool spiritual guy. Yes, he is. I can testify. Wonderful. Well, Christian Druid, I think this is wonderful. Excuse me, I was answering Christian Druid. Where Christian Druid's message go? Look, I just lost your message, but you were saying your son is visiting. I would think that is really awesome. Oh. And I was also going to say, with Reiki Reverend here, I think we're going to have to tap into the spirit world. Maybe we'll take a few questions. Would you be open to maybe helping with some spiritual guidance?
I'd be fine with that.
Yeah.
Fair warning, though, it might be deeper than originally anticipated since I'm not using my cards.
That's okay. We let deepness happen here.
Okay. In that case, I'm just going to go ahead and get my little selenite wand here.
Sure. Make yourself comfortable. Do whatever you need to do. And all right. Well, I'll start off here. I'm going to go through a question. Okay. Oops, hold on. I just lost it. Okay. Yenny Yen, I'm going to give you the first question. Bob, I'm doing hypno-regression in February. Do you think it will help me heal my ET trauma? Thank you for your insights. Yenny Yen, I do. I feel like I want you to go ahead and pursue that, because when we get in touch with that inner self, it begins the healing process. I've done past life regression therapy with people, and many times our phobias, our fears, our anxieties can be traced to past events, some in this life and some in past life. So you will only get better on every level through doing hypno regression therapy. And so, yes, I do feel that is a good step for you. And I think you're ready for that. So I don't know if Reiki Reverend wanted to throw anything on that, but.
Yeah. Well, for one, kudos for, investing in yourself. Not enough people do that. When it comes to legitimate practitioners of hypnotherapy, I have nothing but respect and adoration for them. I'm currently studying regression therapies and varying other hypnotherapies myself. I practice hypnotherapy on a more intuitive level. So I love taking people into guided hypnosis and just really helping them dig out all those different elements of their life and just giving it more depth, or even transmuting that energy into something that they are able to love, adore, or at least find peace with. And that's what I feel like that regression therapy will do for you.
I love that. See, isn't that wonderful? Wonderful. Next question, Amy, 25722. Question, am I going to meet my significant other on my trip? Amy, when I'm walking into your vibration, I'm going to tell you right now, no. Now, let me clarify that. You do have a beautiful light around you in your aura, pink light, which means that your heart is open to love. I feel like you've been doing a lot of inner work this last year. Your channel to receive love is open. I think in terms of timing, though, this trip is not going to be the situation where it happens. But I do feel like what happens on this trip is that you discover more of your openness, your own healing process. And I think that following the trip, it's kind of like your energy gets even more charged. And I think it will be in about 2 months after your trip that you make that connection. But this trip, I do feel, is vital because it is allowing you to facilitate that openness, that healing, that nurturing. So don't go on the trip only on that. I want you to go on the trip thinking about your own journey, your own soul journey, and enjoying the nurturing experience of the trip. Reiki Reverend, if you get anything, you feel free to jump in at any time. Okay.
Okay. So I've just been constantly getting the same message. At first, it was graffiti on a wall, like on a street wall, and I could definitely tell it was in more like a southern part of the continent, or at least let's see, Hispanic or of similar Spanish origin. The type of artwork. I'm feeling like it's not like a bad place. It's not like you're in there in the middle of the night and bad things. I feel like a light there. I feel like the term colors of the world might mean something to you in that regard. But in that vibrational sense, diving deep into colors of the world, I sense all these different things. Like there are aspects of yourself that have constantly been caught up in questions, and it's been a question, answer, question, answer, question, answer on some aspects of your life. And it's not really given you anything tangible to work with, just more answers or more questions. And I feel like the thing that may help you out best in this journey, moving forward with your trip, on meditation, of the fact that you are closer to meeting who you want to meet in life, that person who's going to give you that feeling of fulfillment in life, or who's going to help guide you towards feeling fulfilled in life. I feel like that will definitely happen very soon, but first has to be self, and understanding your color of the world, how you perceive it, or your color vibration in the world, how you shape your vision of yourself to the world. That will all help bring an end goal closer to sight than going there with eyes wide open, scanning the horizon for the distant lover. I feel that if you instead find a way to bring your spirit higher, to ascend to the stars, you will meet your lover with the moment that you lift off the ground.
It's beautiful. All right. Now listen to that, Amy. Reiki Reverend's telling the truth. I can confirm it. Thank you, Reiki Reverend. That's beautiful. See what a channel he is, guys? Now, this is why I tell you, I love him. He's amazing. He helps my life. He's going to help your life. All right. Next question here. Mad Hatters. Hi, Bob. Sorry for the constant request, but I have been really depressed, and I'm going through the worst thing ever. Okay. Could you give me some insight into my 2020 future, please? You know, Mad Hatters, I got to tell you, and I don't say this to be critical, but I'm going to be honest. I feel that you're over analyzing stuff, and you're second guessing yourself, so you're losing your clarity of way, and this is what's making things.
Waiting for the storm to come to expect it to pass.
Say that again. I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you, Reiki Reverend.
Waiting for the storm to come to expect it to pass, because you know this next storm is coming.
Yes. Okay, I want you to listen to that because there's a lot of wisdom in that. See, 2020 doesn't have to be a hurricane. Your consciousness is going to shift that gear. I want you to watch. I feel that by the time we get to the end of January, I feel like you're seeing things more clearly. And I would encourage you right now to please don't do anything rash. Don't act erratic. Don't jump out of fear, because I'm getting a lot of fear around you.
Yeah.
You with me, Ray?
Too. I was a little worried about him.
Mm-hmm. And you know, Mad Hatters, I've talked to you before. This, you know, Doing anything rash, suicide, extreme self-harm, that's not going to get you anywhere. You
Yeah,
know,
if you need any help, just go ahead and reach out, find help like right away.
absolutely.
Don't play with it. I've personally been on that journey myself. It's not a game that you want to allow to continue on any longer than you have to. If you feel like your struggle is nearing an end, then it's time to find a way to let that struggle go. Don't end it, let it go.
Absolute boy. See, now that is true wisdom there. Okay. I think you're going to see some transition here at the end of January because I'm getting a sense of I've come back to center. And that center stream, it takes work to maintain it, but I see you getting a better grip on it. And I think in 2020, there's a lot of emotional healing for you. I feel like there may even come when we get a little closer to the later spring an opportunity for a physical change here, such as a move of residence or a new living situation. And I feel like,
Feeling something with a lot of water, like either just a place surrounded by water, maybe a vacation, or even just like that one really amazing dip in the pool at just the right temperature, or swim in the lake, or I can almost smell like the scent of like the water where you know where the fish is.
oh,
You know
yeah,
the fish are there. You know the fish are there. You just
yeah,
got to put it all out there and just hope for the best. Catch and release, of course. But yeah,
there you go. So 2020 shows healing, it shows progress, it shows balance. And you want to start claiming those for yourself. You know, and Reiki Reverend, I think you'll agree, sometimes what happens in our lives is when we get overwhelmed, we have to shift our focus.
mm,
And like Mad Hatters, I might encourage you to think about an area of your life that you've neglected, that you thought, gee, I'd like to go study this. Or maybe you would have thought, I wish I could have taken a photography class. Or maybe I wish I'd studied, animation design or something. I want you to find something that you can put your energy into because, we all have energy. And if we don't direct it, it can get chaotic. And I think, Mad Hatters, you're actually a very tuned in person, but you just, their challenge is getting that focused. So if you can focus that into some practice or some studies,
I'm
that's
getting
going to
a
give you more power.
I'm getting a really weird message. I'm just gonna like kind of open this sound snippet from the channel.
All right.
Man, I wish I would have spent more time in first shift before I started to gear up. I don't know how I did it, but I done messed up the transmission. I really should have taken things a lot slower.
All right.
And spirit comes in with messages like that, and I allowed that to fully pass through simply for the fact of both illumination and giving. For one, acceleration. We must start from zero. We always start from zero, but we have been for so long that we're never quite at zero. So a full stop is never going to help, or never possible, so to speak. We're energy. We're always moving. That being said, you can slow down over time before you speed up all the way. There may be a goal or some distant goal that's been long in your mind that you really wanted to nail out, but you didn't spend enough time in first shift. You just went right along the second, real quick, and that was it. And I feel like that if you were to take things from a different perspective, much like Bob is saying, transmute the energy into something completely different and then start afresh. That if you spent more time in first shift, taking things slower and allowing it to move upwards at your pace, not the world's pace, your pace, then you'd be fine.
So motive big. There you go. All right. Thank you for that. Was profound. See, isn't he amazing? I'm telling you.
And there's a reason why I did that. Like a lot of people will get these little snippets, so to speak, in their mind. They won't think twice of it. Oh, that sounds really stupid. I don't want to mess with that. I mean, am I getting scared, or is just something regurgitated from past commercials and I don't remember? No, it might be something that you need to pay attention to. The metaphor may not be there all the way, and you may not readily identify with the theme. But if you take time to dissect it among your own, what's important to you, not what's important to the web, then you'll be able to find a message that's custom fit to you and able to help you out with your situation now.
Absolutely true. Absolutely. All right, next question. That was wonderful. Thank you. L. Isabella Montez. Hi, Bob. Do you have any messages for me from Spirit? Thank you and blessings to you. You know, Isabella, when I'm walking into your vibration, I got to tell you, I'm getting a lot of yellow light around you. I love that because this tells me that you're coming into a time of reconnecting with your inspiration, with your higher self. I feel like you're ready to kind of leap into a new path now or a new beginning. Yellow tells me that there's a lot of learning here.
Rainbow elevator.
What's
that?
Uh-huh.
Rainbow elevator, so rapid ascension. I'm getting a lot of blues and greens, which means that there's going to be a lot of emotional healing and physical manifestation that is going to be available to you. However, when it comes down to those qualities in between both, it depends on the vibration that you present to it. So by emotional healing, I could very well mean you have a thought one day and it's so profound that you let go of an idea completely that's been haunting you for years. Or emotional healing that's so profound that your ex from 15 years ago decides to randomly call you up because he's in town. And then when you say no, he ends up, you see how that progresses, emotional healing. And then there's the physical manifestation. You can either find yourself meditating slowly but surely, building yourself up to vibrate towards what you want to go to, not worrying about the end goal, just more the journey. What type of journey do I want to have as I meet this goal eventually? And when you start focusing more on that journey, when you allow yourself to be in that place of saying, this cheesesteak is great, this sandwich is great, this soup is great, this vegetable is great. I don't know if you're vegan or not. But when you start absorbing the things that are good and just really loving them, like you love yourself, or loving the person or the thing that, some people like things, to each their own. Loving those things that are closest to you, and being in that place, letting it magnify, grow. What else can bring me similar joy to this that is within reasonable means, that won't put me outside of my resonation, my vibration, who I am now? And when you start looking for those things and always aiming higher, like I said, spend a good amount of time at first shift and allow yourself to progress. Eventually those things will accrue, and eventually you will find yourself much better along your life in terms of what you're manifesting. And when you finally reach that endpoint, that time where you know that this moment was divine, then you'll be in the right place for it.
So might it be. I love that. Thank you. See? Hold on, I got that question. Now, Shannon Nicole, my dog Juicy died a few days ago. She was really sick. Please tell me how she's doing. Well, Shannon, I can tell you she's already over in the light. In fact, she went to the light right away, got healed, and now she's visiting you in spirit. She's been around you. She's more worried about you than you are about her. Animals have such a pure heart. There's a saying, all pets go to heaven. And I believe that.
Sitting on the doorstep type.
Mm-hmm.
Not waiting on you, but making sure that you're okay. Yes.
And you said it perfectly, Reiki Reverend. And that is the truth. So your dog is in the light. No worries. Okay. And you just talked to her. You could put out her food bowl and some water and just let her know she's still welcome, because she'll visit you,
Speaking of, Bob, I do have to attend to my kids here pretty soon.
Reiki Reverend, I want to tell you thank you. Thank you for taking the time to be here. I know your schedule's really hectic, and it's a big sacrifice for you to be here on this night. And guys, maybe we could have him back again. Would you be able to come on another date and visiting with us some more?
Oh, certainly.
We would love that. Well, thank you for coming, Reiki Reverend. Before you go, do you have any parting words of wisdom you want to share? Any message you want to deliver to us?
Yeah, I definitely do. When it comes to the recent events, I actually left a really cool post on my Facebook page, Reiki Reverend, and it was talking about Salvador Dali's piece, The Face of War, or The Visage of War. And I don't mean to lower the vibration, so I won't speak much of that W word, but what I will say is the premise of what I was writing. And that is, if you are uncomfortable with who you are today, then I would attempt the polar before attempting something different. So if you are unhappy with the way that your drink is blue in the morning, try making the drink the opposite of blue, or whatever color you feel would be the opposite of how you're feeling, you know, red. Resonate with the root chakra instead of the throat chakra, or the third eye instead of the sacral. But when you start to do those things, then you'll find that your vibration will meet in the middle. It'll vibrate at a balanced frequency, and allowing yourself to do that instead of trying to worry about red versus blue, or, you know, yellow versus green, or whatever have you, you'll just be focused on center. The Visage of War is just a thing regarding Salvador Dali. And Salvador Dali was a painter who painted what he felt. His constant visions became his life's work. He transmuted what would have normally horrified a man put in a hospital into a career that built and built and built. And I'm not talking just monetary here. You could have a lifestyle that builds simply by one choice that you make today, one decision you make to change one aspect of self. It doesn't even have to be anything in particular. It could just be your soup to make your day a little better.
Thank you. That is profound. I'm going to meditate on that. Guys, thank you for being so kind and welcoming to Reiki Reverend. Reiki Reverend, hopefully people are going to be hearing from you. Can you give us your website one more time?
Yeah, certainly. That's ReikiReverend.com. And yeah, just that simple, ReikiReverend.com.
I'm going to have that link below in the info box when this video processes after it's done. So go back, guys. You'll get his link. It'll be in the box below the video on YouTube. Okay. Reiki Reverend, thank you. Thank you. I'm so honored to have you here. We'll talk again. Go tend to your family.
Thanks.
And I send you my greetings and thanks and many blessings to you.
All right. Love and light, brother. Love and light, YouTube. Thank you all so much for your energy. Have a blessed day.
We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Isn't that wonderful? What a nice thing. I mean, I tell you, he is so busy. So many people follow him. And he really squeezed this in. We've been talking about doing it for a while, and it just worked out the timing to me. So thank you for receiving, and you guys are wonderful. But I am just so honored, you know, that we got to have him here. Thank you so much. Well, guys, we are at our hour. I don't know where time goes, but I have so enjoyed being with you. And I hope this was informational. Next week, we'll be back to our normal, you know, Sunday night with readings. But I wanted to have a special guest tonight because he's such an amazing person, and he's helped me so very much. My voice is fuzzy, like the sound is. Sorry, guys. I think there's a third-party interference with my show tonight. So we're at the hour, so I'm going to wrap it up. I thank you. Listen, if you get a chance, pop over to my website. This is my new painting. Okay? Make sure to get a copy. It's called All That Remains. I hope you can hear me enough to get this. Go to PsychicBob.com and you can get my new painting. Okay? Oh, it's fixed now. Good. All right. So, anyways, that's my new painting, and that's available to you. Guys, listen, I'm on a tight schedule myself tonight, but I wanted to just say thank you again for being here. Thanks for receiving my teacher, Reiki Reverend. I love him. I think you guys love him too. And if you want to study Reiki, contact him because you will not be disappointed. Okay. You're welcome. Ms. Limitless says, thank you for your time and wisdom, PsychicBob. Thank you for being here. Jacob Kahn says, like the painting too. Thank you so much. Blessed be, says Gab. Yay. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Lady G. Lady G says, hit the like, brothers and sisters. Thank you. I always forget to tell people, I have to tell you, I need your support. After this video processes on YouTube, please go back, put comments in it. Please like it, thumbs up, share it with your friends, favorite it. because YouTube is trying to shut me down still, and I need them to see that Psychic Bob has support. So your support means the world to me. All right, guys. Listen, thank you so very much. Cindy Fitzgerald, I got to tell you, I have not forgotten you. I will be getting your compact voice reading to you. Oh, forget it. We have to do our drawing tonight. You guys still here? I forgot because I was so excited about Reiki Reverend. We're going to do our drawing tonight. I'll put it in the hat. We're going to draw. Let's see who we get. Nessie Anderson. Nessie Anderson, you are winning the compact voice reading. So please, I don't know if she's here tonight, but Nessie Anderson, you won the contest. So contact me for your compact voice reading. If any of you know her, let her know that's like my real name. So, guys, listen, thank you for your support. If you want to get on my schedule for a private reading, give me a call at my office, 703-825-3929. Visit my website, PsychicBob.com. You want to buy a compact voice reading, get a private hour reading. All of those are available at my website, PsychicBob.com. And I thank all of you for your support tonight. Listen, we'll be back here tomorrow on Monday, because we're going to do horoscopes. So you don't want to miss it. Be back here. We'll have some cool astrological insight for all of you. Thanks for being here. Love you guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Until then, may all of you always blessed be.